Luis Carlos Molina es el titular de la cuenta bancaria de la que salieron 3.5 millones de pesos que se le pagaron a los sicarios de don Guillermo.
Además de ser uno de los cabecillas del cartel de Medellín.
Medellín, Colombia, September 14th, 2007, 6:42 a.m. The rain hadn't stopped all night. It pooled in the cracks of Calle 10, turning the pavement into a dull mirror. A bakery on the corner burned its first batch of bread. Yeast and diesel fumes mixed in the damp air. Luis Carlos Molina stepped out of a silver Toyota Prado, registered to a shell company in Envigado on August 3rd, 2006. Gray suit, sensible tie, polished shoes. He carried a leather briefcase purchased at Centro Comercial Oviedo in 2005 for 480,000 pesos. At 6:44 a.m., two men on a Yamaha D motorcycle rolled past him. One of them fired 3 shots from a 9mm pistol. 3 shots, chest level. Molina collapsed beside a storm drain, clogged with cigarette butts and rainwater. He was pronounced dead at Hospital General de Medellín at 7:18 a.m. The newspapers called him a business consultant. The Fiscala later described him as financial coordinator for the Oficina de Envigado. Same man, different story. He didn't look like a monster. That was the point. In photographs taken at his daughter's baptism on May 22, 1999, at Iglesia La Niña Mara, Molina wore wire-rimmed glasses and held a baby wrapped in lace. Soft smile. Shoulders slightly hunched. The posture of a man accustomed to spreadsheets, not gunfire. But between 1998 and 2006, prosecutors estimate he moved more than $180 million through layered accounts in Panama, Costa Rica, and Miami. No fingerprints on guns. No intercepted calls ordering hits. Just columns, numbers, routes, and bodies. Molina was born on February 2, 1968, in Itag, Antioquia, an industrial suburb where factory sirens replaced church bells. The rules there weren't posted on walls, they were absorbed. Don't ask, don't remember, don't testify. By 1985, Medellín was already bleeding. Pablo Escobar's campaign against the state had turned the city into a war zone, peaking in 1991 with 6,809 homicides recorded in the metropolitan area. Teenagers carried Uzi, mothers carried grief. But Molina carried textbooks. He enrolled at Universidad de Antioquia in 1986, majoring in accounting. Clean shirt, cheap backpack. He graduated in 1991, the same year Escobar surrendered to authorities on June 19. The timing matters. When Escobar died on December 2, 1993, on a rooftop in Los Olivos, the violence didn't end. It reorganized. Smaller groups, smarter structures. The reality on the ground was different. The era of flamboyant kingpins was over. The era of quiet architects had begun. Molina saw the gap, and he filled it. By 1998, the Oficina de Envigado had shifted from street enforcement to a hybrid model. Part collection agency, part contract killing syndicate, part financial clearinghouse. They needed someone who understood risk exposure. Enter Molina. He started modestly, cleaning books for small transport companies in Belo and Sabaneta in 1997. Identified by Colombian authorities as fronts used to launder narcotics revenue through fuel distribution and construction contracts. Paperwork. Always paperwork. He built layers. First-tier shell companies registered in Medellín, second-tier holding firms in Panama City, particularly in the Marbella district, incorporated between 2001 and 2004. He used trade-based money laundering, over-invoiced shipments, phantom exports, containers declared as textiles moving through the port of Cartagena in 2003 that, according to Dine investigations in 2008, never existed. But here's where it gets complicated. Molina wasn't just hiding money, he was reorganizing power. he introduced internal auditing systems inside a criminal enterprise in 2002. Monthly ledgers, performance-based payouts, risk allocation models that determined which sicarios received bonuses after successful operations. Code language, warm blood. Between 2002 and 2005, homicide rates in Medellín fell from 184 per 100,000 residents to 33 per 100,000. It looked like peace. It was consolidation. The Oficina, under leaders like Diego Murillo Bejarano, Don Berna, began demobilization talks with the Colombian government in 2003. Officially, they were disarming. Unofficially, Molina was redirecting capital into real estate in El Poblado and Laureles, properties purchased between 2004 and 2006 under relatives' names. The empire went legitimate, on paper. Back in the streets, things were moving fast. Rivals weren't eliminated with bombs anymore. They were audited out, cut from revenue streams, exposed to police through anonymous tips traced later to prepaid phones purchased in Itag on February 11, 2006. War had evolved, and Molina was its accountant. Power built in silence fractures the same way, quietly. Then, all at once, in May 2006, Don Berna was extradited to the United States, landing in New York on May 13 to face federal drug trafficking charges. The umbrella was gone. What followed was a splintering. Factions inside the Oficina turned on each other. Mid-level commanders, men Molina had once paid through structured transfers, began demanding direct access to cash flows. They wanted autonomy. They wanted leverage. Molina resisted. He centralized accounts, restricted withdrawals, froze operational funds in July 2007 after intelligence suggested embezzlement by 2 lieutenants operating out of Manrique. It was a financial coup, and coups invite retaliation. On September 12, 2007, 2 days before his death, Molina met with 3 associates at a cafe on Avenida El Poblado at 8:15 p.m. Surveillance footage, later obtained by investigators, showed tense body language. No smiles, no handshakes at the end. 48 hours later, he was bleeding into rainwater. 3 shots, chest level. The official investigation stalled by 2009. No convictions directly tied to his murder. But the message was understood. The man who built the system had become a liability inside it. A father who attended school recitals at Colegio Montessori in 2004. A man who paid property taxes on time. Duality isn't rare in this world. It's routine. He professionalized brutality between 1998 and 2007 in the Aber Valley. Luis Carlos Molina died on a wet street in Medellín at 6:44 a.m. on September 14th, 2007. But the financial architecture he built, it survived him. And that's the real story.